Hello and welcome to Tabby Talks right here on the Wild West Show RadioTV. And today I've got a special guest, youth of today. I'm a 2000. She goes by the name of Luyanda Zukani and she's from Randfontein High School right here in Randfontein, obviously. And we will be talking about everything Youth Month, Youth Day, and if they even understand what it is all about. Hi, Lulu.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure.
Awesome. Let us not waste any time and get straight to it.
Okay.
Do you understand what is Youth Month? Or actually, do you understand what is Youth Day and why there is June 16th?
I think I have to refer back to history.
Okay.
Yeah. My understanding of Youth Day was commemorating the students who died fighting for not having Afrikaans as a medium of communication in schools.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And then, do you think that the youth now celebrate wisely Youth Month as well as Youth Day, or we are just looking forward to the holiday?
You're making me sound my people out.
Tell the truth and share the devil.
I'll be honest. No, because that day initially was students, basically not students but the youth addressing what bothers them, their problems, what they struggle with. But today we kind of go out, we don't commemorate it, we don't celebrate it in a way of addressing our struggles, because there will always be youth struggles. Do you understand?
Yeah. Do you understand the difference between commemorating and celebrating?
I think so.
Can you break it down for me? Simply.
I think commemorating is remembering something.
Yes.
Remembering June 16 and what happened. And then celebrating would be celebrating the outcomes of it, what it brought with it. You understand? Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the matriculant of 2021 in Randfontein High. She seems to know her story. I don't know. It's still too early to tell. It's still early to tell. Now, you say that you understand that June 16 back then it was the youth, fighting for their struggles, fighting for the issues such as, Africans being used as a medium back then. Now, what are some of the issues that the youth is facing?
Oh, there are a lot, quite a lot. Well, let's start with the ones that we know. It's unemployment, basically not knowing where they're going in life. But I think the youth's biggest problem is mental health.
Okay.
Our youth isn't educated enough that you need to be in the right headspace for you to do certain things. And then we have this thing, no, the youth is lazy, the youth is this, the youth is that. The youth is sick in the mind.
Okay.
And we need to fix that first before we can say, okay, now they can go get employed. Because every time you go somewhere or you do something, you need to fix your mind first. So there's mental health issues. Then our youth, we're living in very bad spaces.
Okay.
We engage ourselves with bad people and bad things, which don't bring in good positive energy or vibes or whatever we call it. Yeah, but basically I think the problem is that we really don't know what's good for us. Yeah.
Now, you say that most youth suffers from mental health. What do you think causes? What is the main cause of this mental health that you talk about? Because we can say, Bonamfa, we also were youth.
Yeah.
We went through, struggles, but we never said we've got mental problems.
Exactly.
So what causes this youth's mental problems?
Well, I think what causes this youth's mental health is dysfunctional families, dysfunctional environments. I mean, most of us, majority of the South African youth, were living in the ghetto, if you can call it that, urban areas, basically. You walk out, people are sitting on the corner, there's nothing really good to get you to that place where you're like, okay, you know what, I'm going to do something good for myself. Positive energy influences positive energy. The spaces that we grow up in, they're very toxic. Then there we have dysfunctional families, something like that. Then there's sexual assault, a whole lot of things that actually can influence the drop in the mental health of the youth.
But then one can argue and say, but Luyanda, it's not the first time that the youth is going through that.
True.
The previous generation, we've gone through that. We've gone through being raised by single mothers or single fathers or grandmothers, where there's just a grandmother, uncle that drinks, unemployed, everybody's living off ugogo thengisa amaswiti or vegetables and so forth. You understand? However, many of us function. Maybe we're crazy now because now we're not ready for adulthood.
Yeah.
But when we were youth, we were functioning and we basically could not say, oh, well, we're not doing well so well at school because of mental problems. I mean, one can argue with that. What would you say? I bring that up.
Well, I could say back then in the day,
It's not that old, ne?
Okay.
Please, don't say back then.
Back
the
then, I was
1960s.
not
All right,
there, so
come
back then.
bring it.
I would say the youth back then was not exposed to as much information as the youth today.
Okay. Okay.
We are exposed to information, then we want to utilize it in our own ways. No, I have depression, I have this. Are you looking for information to actually get over it?
Okay.
Whereas the youth back then were like, okay, you know what, I feel bad, but I have to do this, I don't know what this thing that I'm feeling is. I don't know what depression is, but I know that I have to go to school.
I don't have time for it.
I don't have time for it.
Yeah.
Now we have too much time on our hands, you understand? Like we want to identify the problems, but never the answers. Whereas the youth back then, it was just ignore. I gotta go on with my life,
That's a cool back.
Which I find it very strong of them to do. But right now, we're looking at a lot of broken adults, let's be honest, because of that. Do you understand? So I feel like to end that cycle, we need to help the youth now. Even though the only thing they're doing is identifying the problems without the solutions. Yeah.
Okay, but we are broken. But we are broken adults. Hey, go rough, guys. Go rough. You're still sitting here and chilling and listening to Tabby Talks with Luyanda Zukani, grade 12 student from Aranfontein High. Remember, if you would like to advertise with us, if you'd like to join us, please make sure that you contact us on our social media platforms. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we've got, on YouTube, we've got a website. Well, now, do yourself a favor, because I know Naitani Facebook, just go on Facebook and search for Wild West Show Radio TV, and you'll find all the information that you need there, and you can contact us. You can also come and join us here in studio. Now, Luyanda, you speak so wisely, and you explain to say, the adults now are troubled adults, disturbed adults because of maybe everything, put it under the carpet and say, I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna move on and do what I need to do, go to school, go to do this, do that. And you also raised the point saying that the youth now, they, for the information, they've got all these words, Oh, I'm sorry, I've got depression. I'm schizophrenic. Can even spell schizophrenic? But I'm so sad. I've got suicidal thoughts but they're not looking for solutions. With all this access to, like you say, we've got access to information.
Yeah, unlimited.
Why are people not looking then for solutions? Hence, they are disturbed.
I think people like staying in pity and sorrow.
Okay.
You understand? Pity party, because it's so much harder to actually get up and do the work.
Okay.
Especially the mental health work, getting up every day. And the things to overcome mental health issues, like exercising, reading, watching educational programs, you understand? Do you think the youth wants to do that?
Can you tell me?
Let's be honest.
Do you guys do that?
Not the majority.
Yeah.
Not the majority. There's so few people who are young who would say, you know what, yesterday I read a mental health book and because I was feeling this way. But it's better to go on your status and be like, Yazini, I'm sad, this and that, my life, this. I mean, everyone has a sad story. Everyone has a sad story.
Yeah, we all have sad stories.
Exactly. But I feel like a lot of people want to dwell in that for the pity party, because it's so much better than you putting in the work out of that. Do you understand me?
Now, do you think moving forward, youth month is still relevant?
if we change our ways. Right now, I don't really see what's going on with Youth Month. I mean, as much as we have months such as Gay Pride Month, which is also the Youth Month, fine. We need to have things that commemorate the initial Youth Day. Do you understand? Which I said were young people addressing struggles. So let's address our struggles. Today's struggles. You know, every generation has their struggle.
True.
So let's talk about our struggles. Let's have meetings as the youth, you know, or somewhere, you understand? People struggling with mental health, people with, you know, dysfunctional families, the youth struggling with poverty, can't get food or something like that, do you understand? Like, let's have programs which actually commemorate what actually happened that day. And even though, Tina, we don't have that same struggle, it's still the struggles of the youth.
Yes.
That's how we can celebrate Youth Month and commemorate it. Yeah.
But do you think students want to do that? I mean, already we've seen that, and we also mentioned to say most of the students, most of the youth, most of the youth, you know, come June 16, they already read where we're going to celebrate, you know, where we're going to drink, what are we going to drink, and do you think they'll be interested in doing such programs?
I mean, people are young, you know, and when you're young, you have this thing was, I have my whole life ahead of me, I want to do this, I want to do that. We're not saying don't do that, but we're saying set some time aside for you to actually commemorate what actually happened on Youth Day and what Youth Month actually means. Do you understand? We're not saying with no, put on your best outfit, go dance, go drink, go do whatever you want to do, but come back the next day and let's talk about your mental health and let's talk about the struggles that you face and how we can fix them and how we can support each other as the youth. You understand me?
I hear you. I hear you, and you're making so much sense. But there's also this thing of bullying, mostly at school.
Yeah.
And you saying all of this, most people are already being bullied for stupid things, like small things.
Yeah.
And that being one of the major problems that the youth is going through is bullying. And you guys are not bullying each other these days, you know. You know, like the bullying is hectic, guys. You know, we have bullying.
Yeah.
You know, and you guys bullying is like, sure, it's scary.
Yeah.
Do you think that kids being bullies and others experiencing bullying would want to get in their feelings, talk about feelings? Because already, like you said, you know, abanye bakwatile because of broken homes or whatever the case may be. I hear you tell a good story, but is your youth ready? Are you, the youth, ready to really get into this and discuss this?
Yeah. As in, that's a hard question. That's a very hard question because I'm speaking from my perspective and the group circle of the circle of friends that I have.
Yeah.
And I would say the people that I know and my circle of friends could be ready.
Okay.
To understand because obviously birds of the same feather flock together. But we can't ignore the fact that there are people who aren't interested in that.
Yes.
And it's unfortunately most of the youth. Do you understand? And the bullying is something that's a factor if we were to take this whole mental health thing seriously and actually have these programs. Ubani ozofuna ukukhuluma ukuthi kwenzakalani endlini, you understand? Ubani ozofuna ukukhuluma ukuthi kunje, you understand? But I think ukuthi change, it takes time.
Okay.
It's a process. And even if it doesn't work out the first Youth Month, and even if our programs, even if 2 people show up, you know,
at least,
you know, but let's start somewhere.
Yeah.
Let's start somewhere. The youth is not perfect, far from it actually. But if we start somewhere, in the next 10 years, our children will have something to fall onto and we can teach them that. And their generation will easily pick it up like that. Unfortunately, I don't think we can save everyone right now in the youth, unfortunately. But ngaleyo 2, ngaleyo 3, ngaleyo 1. And if those people are bullied for that, you know, we can stand up for each other and report it, you know? Yeah.
Do you think bullying is being handled properly in schools? Do you think that bullying is being handled, number one, at schools, and is it being handled properly?
No,
Okay.
I don't think it's being handled because the authorities, the right people to talk to, meaning the teachers, the principal, the what, they're never really present for the bullying, ne?
Okay.
And abantwana, they don't really have le mindset yokuthi yazi mhlambe lento lo muntu ayenza kulo wrong. Do you understand? Instead they have this thing yokuthi no, if it happened to her, it didn't happen to me, so you understand? It's not being handled. And the reason why it's not being handled is because we are fighting against each other and we are being bad towards each other. And if I were to see someone getting bullied, I have to talk up, speak up, do you understand? That way it could be handled. Then from there, when I speak up, then the authorities, about Tish and about in, they can start doing the right things. They can't do anything. I mean, we put this responsibility on teachers so much, and we forget to remember that they're not really there most of the time, because most of this bullying happens in closed doors and closed corners and social media. You understand? So yeah.
Okay. And social media. See, I was coming there, but you already done. See, you're not reading my thoughts. Like, social media.
Yeah.
Hey, Nainto.
Nayo.
How is social media impacting on the lives of the youth?
I'm not gonna say it's a good and a bad thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, because I didn't want to ask if it's good or bad. Hence I'm saying, how does it impact the youth?
Yeah, when people talk about social media, they want to have this thing, your team, it's a good and a bad thing. Do you understand? But it's a bad thing, period.
Why?
It's a bad thing because parents give their children phones.
Yes.
And they don't teach them how to use it. Lendole social media, ifika manje, you understand? And the guidelines aren't really clear to us. We just get on there and do whatever we feel like is right. Do you understand? Because we're hiding behind a screen, a phone.
Yes.
Personally, I think it's a bad thing, but it can be a good thing.
Okay. Explain.
The youth. There are young people who are expressing themselves on social media. Like, I follow this page on Instagram, it's called Feminist, and it's mostly young people engaging with the content.
Okay.
Talking about female issues, whatnot, and what is, the basic, issues that we face every day. And I think if that was what social media's initial purpose was, then it could be a good thing. It has potential to be a good thing. Do you understand me? Yeah.
But social media is an open space. It's up to you as the user how you want to use it. And you can't say parents gave you the phone but didn't give you the guidelines.
Exactly.
I can give you a phone. My reason for giving you a phone as a parent, so they can get in touch with you, right? I can call you, I can SMS you, are you okay, where are you, I'm going to be late, where should I pick you, and. I didn't say download Facebook.
True.
Hell, I didn't even show you how to download Facebook.
Exactly.
Right? Because I didn't want you to. I didn't show you how to download Instagram or even how to use Instagram. You took it upon yourself to download these apps and many other apps that are out there, Twitter and you downloaded them before. So we cannot say parents gave you phones. And if I don't give you a phone again, so we'll cover that now.
Exactly.
You see?
Yeah.
So, do you think that the youth is responsible enough? Can they be trusted with social media?
No.
They can't.
They can't.
You guys are like running amok. You're crazy out there in the Twitter streets.
Yeah, it's crazy. Go on Twitter's even worse.
So you've been on Twitter.
It's so bad. You just sit there like, But I think, as I said, no, we don't really, as much as I wasn't trying to blame the parent. Yeah. The parent can give you the phone and stuff like that, I would prefer that the parent, when they give you the phone, they give you a clear guideline. But if you decide to go around that or go through that, then it all lies in your personal morale. Do you understand? Yes. What are your values?
Yes.
Do you respect what your mother and your father wants?
Yes.
At the same time, these children download these things because they don't know the dangers of them. When I first got social media, I didn't understand the dangers of it. Do you understand? And I think if we can explain that to them, you know, but not saying what you know, the basic things, because they like they get their school and you know they come and they talk about it like you're gonna get human trafficked, right? You know, and then we just sit there like,
whatever.
Okay, you understand?
I'm clever.
I'm clever. I'm smart. Things like that. I mean, I feel like we should find better ways to maneuver and teach the youth about the dangers of social media. Therefore, we can start having productive social media and good social media. But right now, I don't even think we're close to that. I mean,
All I heard from black parents is that let us not get these kids smartphones. That's all I heard. Because they cannot handle themselves with the smartphone.
Check it.
Let's get them 100 rand phones so we can just call them and the SMS and that's it. We just don't trust them with smart gadgets. You know, that's all I can say. That's all I heard. Moving forward. Wink, wink. Remember, you can still get hold of us right here on the Wild West Show Radio TV by going to www.wildwestshowradiotv.co.za. That is our website. We are on YouTube. Kindly subscribe and follow us. You know, listen, like, comment. We really like interacting with you, and you know, on all these interesting topics that we do bring aboard here. And if there's anything else that you want us to talk about and discuss, please. Be free to just, you know, hold there and tell us what you'd like us to talk about. What's the burning issue? And if you are the person that is being burned by that issue, and we'll chat with you and we'll dissect it and, you know, simply say, make it worse. Either or, we are going to talk about it. Still with Luyanda right here on Thabile Talks right here. And we're just discussing all things youth and social media, like I said, cheap phones, bullying, and what are some of the issues and mental health. And she's brought in a very strong point about mental health, you know, to say most kids are suffering from mental health problems. Abanye, because they read about it and they're thinking that's what they're going through. Abanye, they really are going through mental health problems. In schools, are there programs, do you think? Let's talk about your school.
Yeah.
Do you guys have programs, or maybe one of the teachers, or you know, subject, or I don't know how things are now, that actually helps and assists students who are, or you suspect is having a mental breakdown or a mental issue or along those lines?
Well, right now there isn't an official program for it. But there are people who are trying.
Okay.
We have our LO teachers, Miss Squandrad, Miss Abbas.
Shout out to you.
Shout out. You know, the LO teachers, they're there for the students. You can talk to them about anything. You understand me? And they will never judge, and they will never contact parents if you don't need them to, and if it's not something that's endangering your life. Do you understand me? Then we have our executives. There's one named Tiamo, and she had this initiative, let's do a podcast and let's talk about youth problems. You know, let's bring on youth talent onto the podcast. Let's play youth songs. You know, let's you know, and that was a safe space. You know.
Continue. I'm not judging.
That was a safe space. Yeah, you know, and I think there are a few initiatives around the school. The good apples are there. Yeah, they're there.
Do you think that if the schools brought back or started initiatives, those that, because others did have back in the days, you know, there was what was it called? It was a weird subject. I'll remember. But whereby you could, you know, some of the schools that I went to had such programs. If the schools were to have such programs whereby they're having that open space and safe space for kids, do you think it will get better for students at schools?
I think it will, depending on how it's maneuvered.
Okay, meaning
you can't group certain people together, and you understand me. You can't
Why?
Because you can't group the bully and the bullied. You understand?
So trying to create peace.
Because they're facing different mental issues. You know, we can't use the education system, the one fits all, something like that. You do that to mental health, you're creating a bigger problem. So if the programs, they have the depressed people, we have the people who have anxiety, you know, different types of mental health issues and different types of, you know, points of it, because depressed people, they're different. There's the severe and then there's the mild.
Yes, the stages.
Yeah. Let's have those programs need to be maneuvered in a very, very
delicate
manner.
But it would help should they be there at school.
It would help.
And parents, what can parents do to help their kids? Because look, kids, you guys can be hectic. Youth, you can be hectic, sure. And some of the issues, like you're saying, back in the days, we might not understand, and we feel that we understand most of what you're going through, because most of us went through it. But however, like you say, back then we didn't have certain things. Now that you guys have privy to certain information and how things are done, as far as one child, because there's a report that you child care line.
Yeah.
It's like okay, so how much have a child care line?
Yeah.
If you're gonna do that, I'm gonna beat you up. I'm not gonna abuse you, but I will hit you. And if you're going to like child care, let them raise you, take you to school. But anyway, what can parents do? Because parents find themselves in a position whereby, but they're defeated because you can't tell them anything.
Yeah.
Understand? You can't tell them anything. They know it all.
True.
So what can parents do to help their kids and also help themselves to try and come to the point of maybe being in the middle, to bridge the gap of sassy everything to mama, you don't know nothing.
Yeah.
You're like ancient with dinosaur.
Yeah.
You don't understand.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what can parents do to help their kids and themselves and their relationships?
Well, there's this thing, Uguti. You have to be your child's friend. Not really. Not really. Not really.
I have an issue with that.
I don't need a friend as old as you. I'm tired.
Oh wow! Oh snap! She don't need a friend as old as okay.
I need guidance. I need guidance. And if you're just gonna be like, cause I said so, you understand?
Yeah.
It kind of like, because you said so, what is that supposed to mean?
I'm the parent.
You understand?
And
but
I said so.
And now I'm showing you the mind of a youth, The minute you say, because I said so, you're like, what if I said so? What makes it different?
This is my house. My home. So I say so. So why should I say that?
No. Don't try to be your child's friend, number one. And if you're going to take that route, you need to be the friend who tells you the truth no matter what.
Okay.
You understand? The friend is like, I don't feel what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be your child's friend, be that friend.
Okay.
Don't be the one, okay, I hear you, yeah, let's do. No. Also, what parents need to do, they think that you know nothing. Sharp. Catch up on all the current, things that are going on. Not Yeah. When it comes to mental health, read books. Get a few parenting skills on how to maneuver around that. And not saying skills because we're doubting your skills.
Okay.
Fine. Not at all. Not at all. Because the world is changing.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And every day ways of dealing with certain things are changing.
Okay.
And if you're caught up and you before your child and you're like, you know what? I read about this, okay? And Doctor Who says this and that.
Yes.
And he says this and that because of this. So you can't tell me nothing.
Yeah.
I can't say anything to you because you read up or you know your stuff.
Okay.
You know your stuff. And when you get to your bag, it's the things that as Fundai with social media, you understand? Because now the doctors, they're taking their information out into the social media. But you as the parent, and as I said, that information, they utilize it in the youth. They utilize it in not very good ways. Do you understand? But you, as the parent, if you have first access to that information, you are able to... You can counterattack. Do you understand? And that way, the child starts feeling, I know, she knows. She knows.
She's clued up.
She's clued up. She knows her business.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Look, we can sit here and talk all day, every day. And that's why she's a matriculant of 2021. She's one of the bright students. Her brain works. Salutes to you.
Thank you.
You know, she's got smart advice. She even had a bit of advice for us parents. To say, let us kids. Let's not be friends with our, I love that.
Yeah.
Let's not be friends with our kids because we are not friends. Let's get that one straight. We are parents. But again, maybe I think it's important for parents to know your kid more and better, because then this route will not work. Boy, I said so. If she's like, it's not gonna work. Because she'll be like, oh really now? let me show you, I'm smart, you know. So it's very important as parents to know our kids, and let's just take heed of what she said. You know, we can learn a thing or two, both parents and students. And on that note, like I said, we can go on and on and on. I will have to wrap it up, and this is all we had for you today, right here on Tabby Talks. Remember, this is Wild West Show Radio TV. Adios.